welcome back, my friends. So this is sort of a part two to the first video I put out yesterday regarding, the idea that some of the things that hold us back from our own personal growth and from accepting others as they are and forgiving others is our feelings about ourselves based on who we were or something we did years ago or something we did in the past. And we haven't fully adopted forgiveness of ourselves for that, so it's very hard to move forward forgiving anyone else. That sounds simple. Oh, well, I'll just forgive myself for everything that I've done that now when I look at it, think it was a wrong idea or it was bad or it was something I would never do now. So let's just forgive ourselves and wipe the slate clean. And that sounds all well and good, but not always that easy. And so that's why this part two, because part two is really about acceptance. So first of all, number one, and this may come as a shock, but there's no perfect people in the world. There are, the Dalai Lama's probably done some pretty squirrely things too. So just remember, you're not unique in the idea that you've done something that you're having a hard time forgetting or forgiving yourself for. And like I say, most of these things don't just sit there in your purview. You push them away, you bury them, and it's only when you really stop and think about them that they even enter your life. But you act subconsciously based on those things and based on the fact that you haven't really forgiven yourself for these things. So I guess what this is about is acceptance. And that means you need to stop and really look at yourself and say, I am who I am. I need to fully accept that. So if there's a circumstance that you could remember that you haven't fully accepted, you have to do that too. You can't push it away. You have to say, okay, take responsibility for it. This is what I did, and I accept the fact that I did it. It doesn't pertain to me now, but I can't hang on to it and let it affect me now. I have to move forward. So I need to totally forgive myself. You see somebody do something that you think is wrong or stupid or something that angers you. Without forgiving yourself and accepting yourself first, you aren't going to be able to look at them and say, well, they're making a mistake. They're going to be sorry for it later. Have some compassion for that and understanding for it. Or they're acting out of anger right now, and tomorrow they're going to wake up and regret it, and they're going to be back in the same boat that I'm in right now, of having to accept the fact that they responded in a way they weren't happy with. So the real ticket here is not what I did or didn't do, what I can remember or can't remember. It's acceptance of everything about you. All the good with the bad, and stop categorizing good with bad. This is all growth and learning. I've said before, no one learns anything by their successes. They learn things by their failures. So if you are failing, you are learning as well. But like I said, it's acceptance. If you regret something and you don't accept that you did it, you just bury it away, it just stays with you in your subconscious and it comes up. So here's the other part about acceptance. How do you know what's staying with you and what isn't? Well, it's about triggers. Somebody does something or says something to you and it triggers a negative response. You have to note that, because now you know what triggered you. Now you can at some point later sit and say, okay, why did that trigger me? What happened in my past that I have not fully accepted and not fully forgiven myself for? And what do I need to do about that now? Well, what you need to do is look at it, see what it is, and accept it. If you do this enough times, every time you're triggered, very shortly you'll find that you're less triggered by less things. And some of the things that used to bother you that people did will no longer bother you, because you'll understand that they're in that place that you were in. They're making that mistake, and they're going to end up right back where you are, hopefully accepting that and learning from it and growing and moving forward. So, and like I said, this is like any other muscle that you exercise. The more that you do it, the better you get at it, and the fewer things that trigger you. So hopefully this makes some sense. So what I'd suggest you do is go forward and try this. See when you're triggered. See if you can mark it, sort of make a mental note, and then address it later and see what it was. If you sit with it and you recognize what it is, I guarantee you the next time that trigger comes up, it won't trigger you, at least not as much as it did. And you will definitely see an improvement in how you respond to things and in your level of self-acceptance and self-forgiveness, which of course in turn lets you reflect the same toward others. Okay, so that's all I got on that subject. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. I'd be happy to read them and respond. Thanks so much for watching.